Hello friends, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sana, mrs.perfectly.imperfect.keto, where being perfect is overrated and being imperfect is appreciated. Today is Tuesday, it is March 7th. I literally just got done homeschooling my kids, so we have another day's victory in the bank for us. So I hope everyone's week is going off to a great start. If you are just starting off on this journey, whether it be bbbE or whether it be carnivore, applaud yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back, or even visually look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you are doing amazing things for yourself, because today would be day 7, and that is amazing. To be able to stick to something for 7 days is not easy, because every single day you have temptations that are lurking around every single corner. So if you did have something that was not according to plan, go ahead and show yourself some grace. As long as you do not have any possible unhealthy relationship with those bad foods where it's going to continue to cause yourself a hindrance, just go ahead and show yourself some grace and just continue moving along. Today is the present and tomorrow is a whole new day. So do not linger on about the present. You get a whole new day to start over again tomorrow. So I kept things really simple. Right now it is about 2:28, so it's a little bit later than when I wanted to kind of start my first meal, but that's okay. I am just simply going in with some air fried burger patties. These have butter on it that you can see is melted, and I do have some mustard, so do not get triggered about the mustard. I follow the Berry Tribe, the proper human diet as well. So if Dr. Berry is eating yellow mustard, I am not going to find a problem with it myself. So the mustard that I had gotten is just from Aldi. So it is just simply their Berman's brand of traditional yellow mustard. And the ingredients, if I can get it to focus properly, and I do have a new camera setup coming that's going to provide a lot better experience for you all. Obviously there are still some shipping delays, so I'm still just waiting on it, so I'm just going to read it off. It's simply just distilled vinegar, water, mustard seed, salt, turmeric, and paprika. That is all that it is. So I'm using a little bit of it on my burgers. I did incorporate it here and there on my bbbE journey. I really think that it definitely did help me to just have a small amount of it throughout my bbbE journey, because I refrained from all other seasonings other than salt. So I truly feel like the mustard, in those moments where I kind of felt like I just wanted a little something extra, just a little tiny squirt of the mustard. It obviously didn't hinder my healing, because as you all saw my before and after picture, I had a lot more healing that occurred than what the scale actually had shown. So it did not hinder me. It is up to you. Even though bbbE, it simply is beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. When it comes to the seasonings you want to incorporate, that is your choice. You know, it is how strict you want to be with it. Some, you know, they get a little bit more lenient because they figure, for the most part, they're eliminating everything that they figure, just incorporating little things like seasonings that are clean, as well as incorporating some mustard. It is not as bad as they truly could be doing. I mean, it's definitely a lot better than what we all were doing on the standard American diet. So definitely show yourself some grace throughout it. You definitely want to make sure that certain things are not going to hinder you. So definitely you need to be able to tune in whether or not something like mustard or possibly anything else that you're trying to incorporate in terms of seasoning, that they're also not going to cause you any irritations, because the whole point of it is to truly do an elimination. So I did not start incorporating mustard until later on in my triple B&E journey. That way I was able to simply acclimate to triple B&E and then incorporating the mustard. That way, if I did get an irritation, I simply knew it was the mustard. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat, friends. I do have something exciting coming up for dinner, so it is going to be a cook with me again. I hope you all are enjoying the little bit that I am sharing as far as when it comes to the cooking that I am doing. So I'm trying to get more comfortable with everything. As you all might have seen, I am going to be very real with you all. This is real life over here. I do not have the time to put on a facade with anyone. So you guys are really gonna see just real life over here, just the real authentic me, and how I simply just cook the meats that I'm purchasing, how I normally would just cook them and try to keep them as much of clean ingredients as I can. So I will catch you all next when I get to cooking that dinner. So I will certainly be revealing it at that time. It is going to be the title of this video. So if you are watching this video, you already have a hint of what is to come next. All right, friends, I will catch you for our dinner prep. All right, friends, I am back. I am ready to start prepping dinner over here. So I apologize if I'm looking like Hot Mess Express over here. Today is one of my deep cleaning days. So I just got done just doing mama duties of getting everything and anything done in this house. So let me go ahead and show you all what I am working with for our dinner. All right, so what I have here is a boneless leg of lamb that I had purchased from Sam's Club. It was 5.47 pounds. What I'm gonna do, I like to use a method, and you can certainly change this to your preference. But what I like to do is I like to pressure cook the lamb first, and then I like to air crisp it. So I like to air fry it after I get some pressure cooking in. So this is definitely, I'm gonna try to put my glove on, so I'm sorry for any crackling noise. I do have my meat probe in it already. That is gonna be fine being in this piece of meat during the pressure cooking stage, because once I go ahead and air fry it, I definitely don't want to worry about sticking my hand in a hot unit. So I'm taking care of putting my meat probe in from now. But as you can see, it is a very nice fatty piece of lamb. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my Ninja Foodie pot, and I will show you guys what that looks like. That way I can go ahead and work two-handed here, since this is 5.47 pounds worth. All right, friends, so I do have my boneless leg of lamb in my Ninja Foodie pot. I have decided to experiment next with garlic. So I have this boneless leg of lamb not only very well salted, but I also added some garlic powder on it. It is also really important to allow your meat to come to room temperature. So this boneless leg of lamb has been out at room temp for about 3 hours. It is a substantial piece of meat, so it did take a little bit of time for it to properly get to room temp, and it definitely helps having your meat at room temp when it comes to grilling it and using a lot of different cooking methods. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add just 1 bottle of water. Simply, that is all I'm gonna need, is just a bottle of water. So this is just 16.9 flow ounces of water. This piece of meat is definitely going to give me a lot of natural juices as it is cooking. So I'm not too worried about adding any additional water. The 16.9 flow ounces is definitely going to be enough for my Ninja Foodi to accomplish this pressure cooking process. So I do have, as you can tell, I do have it on the wire rack accessory for my Ninja Foodi. It definitely helps to keep your piece of lamb on this rack ahead of time. So not only am I taking advantage of using it for the pressure cook process, but this is going to be very helpful when it comes to the air frying. So it's going to allow for the air frying to circulate throughout this whole piece of meat, and I am not going to have to worry about handling this very hot piece of meat after pressure cooking and to basically put it on a wire rack at that time to get a really optimal air frying results. So I'm going ahead and taking care of all of that from now. So we are going to go ahead and pressure cook this 5.47 pound of boneless leg of lamb. We are going to go in at a sealed pressure. So we're going to have our lid set to seal, and we are going to go in at high pressure for 35 minutes. And I will show you guys what that looks like once I go ahead and quick release the pressure. We'll see what it looks like after that. All right, stay tuned, friends. All right, friends, so my pressure cooker, it did beep, and I went ahead and I quick released all the pressure from the unit. So we are all set to go. So currently right now you see that the temperature so far has gotten to be 102 degrees Fahrenheit with just the pressure cooking, and it's still climbing a little bit because obviously there's still just the heat that's still basically insulated with this lid still on. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look here. Okay, so this is what we're working with after the pressure cook process. Normally with lamb, right before you air fry, normally what people do is they would coat it with either olive oil or avocado oil to kind of give it a really nice skin when it comes to air crisping it or air frying it. What we're gonna do, because we are rocking the carnivore way of life, I am gonna use what is carnivore compliant. So I just simply have some melted butter here. I simply just melted it in the microwave. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a drizzle. And then it's also going to allow not only that skin to get a nice coloring on it, but it's also going to seep down into that nice natural broth that we have. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this now to either air crisp or air fry. They're both basically accomplishing the same thing. It's just a matter of terminology. So I'm gonna go ahead, because my meat probe is going to sound off once it gets to that ideal temperature of 145 degrees, which is gonna give that nice medium rare for lamb. It's not gonna hurt to set the time for basically whatever time amount you're wanting to set it for. I'm gonna go ahead and set it for 40 minutes. It definitely might take less time, but at least I don't have to keep coming back once this beeps off. If I was to set a shorter time, I can just basically set it for 40 minutes and know as soon as my meat probe sounds off, I would be just ready to go. I could just set it and forget it. All right, friends, so once my meat probe beeps off, I will go ahead and update you all and show you all what our leg of lamb is looking like. All right, friends, our timer went off. Let me go ahead and turn that off so it stops beeping. And we're gonna go ahead, cross our fingers, cross our toes. All right. Oh, so it looks really good. So even that little browning at the top is simply just from the garlic, but it's not burnt at all. So let's go ahead and take this out and see what it looks like. All right, so as you can see, I simply just let the net stay on, and I do have some parchment paper, and underneath the parchment paper I simply just have some foil wrap because I do not want this hot meat to come in direct contact with the aluminum foil. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and allow it to rest. So this is going to rest for about 10 to 15 minutes before I cut into it. And once I get to that point, I will show you all what that looks like. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it. But I will give you all a look. So most definitely all the way around, it is nicely cooked. But still yet, we still have, as you can see, a lot of great juiciness. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and I will see you guys when it comes time for slicing. All right, friends, we are back. We are gonna go ahead and unwrap this. I have my husband helping me, so he's just showing us it's unwrapped right now. So as you can see, it still has a lot of the juices there, and we're gonna go ahead and cut it and show you all what it looks like. I have the fork there if you want to use it. Yeah, just go ahead and cut slices, because that's how the kids will eat it too. All right, so as you all can see, I'm trying to get a good picture of it because the shadow kind of makes it a little dark. Can you lift that side up with the fork? Yeah, and hold it up to the light, just so they could see the color. All right, so as you all can see, it has really great coloring on it, and that fat inside is just amazing. So this is definitely a really good juicy cut. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just cut really thin slices. That's how we're gonna serve it. All right, so we have a fairly good amount of slices already cut. And as you can see, there's still a substantial piece there. And don't be afraid of these juices. They might look a little reddish. That is not blood. So if you're under the impression that that juice that comes off the meat, the reddish liquid, it is actually a water and protein mix. It is considered myoglobin. So I mean, you could definitely look it up if you want to get all sciencey about it, but it is not blood. So as you can tell, you still have a lot of red liquid juice here. But as far as the color of the meat, we kind of tend to do it more so on the medium side because we have children that they don't like seeing the myoglobin, the red liquid. So we cook it a little bit medium for their preference as well. So I will go ahead and I will show you all what my plate looks like. I'm figuring that I'm possibly going to go in with about 5 ounces. That is what I need to get to my ideal protein for the remaining of the day. So I'm going to make sure I at least have 5 ounces of cook weight plated up. And most definitely, if I add any more to it, that would be even better. You know, definitely the more protein I can get in for the day, the only more satiated I'll be for my next day. So I'll definitely update you all later on of what my plate looks like, but this is pretty much how the slices look, and it slices very nicely. It is going to give you a very nice smooth cut, especially if you start with that pressure cooking and then go in with your air crisping, or, you know, as some would refer to it as air frying. But as you can see, there are very nice juicy pieces. All right, friends, you will see what my plate looks like. All right, so here is my dinner plated up. I had seen what 5 ounces had looked like, and it definitely did not look substantial enough. So this right here is 16.2 ounces of cooked weight. So I have my lamb, and here I have the rich meat juices. So it's definitely the meat juice, that salty, buttery goodness. So I'm going to go ahead and just serve myself a good amount in my serving dish over there, because I definitely want to dip that lamb in all that goodness. All right, friends, so this is what I'm going in for my dinner. I do have, as I said, a fairly good amount here. So that should be what it takes to get me comfortably stuffed, because I am definitely getting all my protein in with this meal and those 4 burgers that I had earlier. All right, friends, well, I want to thank you for joining me on this Tuesday, and I will catch you all tomorrow on Wednesday. Take care, friends.